Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the most adorable, cutest little draft league you've ever seen on this side of the YouTube. I forget that this is like a global platform sometimes, so using... Anyways, my name is CBAD, coach of the Detroit Steelings. We are here today taking on J-Bear and the GREAVARD. I hope you guys are excited. If you are, show some love on that like button. Smash that like button. First draft league video of the new year. Very excited for this one. Definitely looking to bounce back this week. We took a little bit of an L last week. That's okay. It does happen. It's draft league after all. But I am looking forward to making a little bit of a play and do it, you know, just working things out a little bit better this week. Because as you may have likely saw from the thumbnail, depending on how the battle goes, we've got some team changes to talk about. So there will be some text floating somewhere on screen in post-production if you guys want to hop right on ahead to the free agency transaction portion. And if that's not so much your speed, you guys can go on ahead or the Teambuilder. That was the Teambuilder text. Now if you want to hop right on ahead of the battle, you can do so. If you guys just clear all that data and you like, I don't just want to see the battle and I don't care what happens, then you're probably going to see some different Pokemon that you didn't expect. But either way, we're in for a fun time here. We're going to go on ahead and start talking about some free agency moves now. So as mentioned, we did go on ahead and make some free agency transactions going into this next week because frankly, there were some gaps in the team. If this is not your first song and dance with me, you already know the drill, but if this is your first soiree with me in Draft League, I commonly say that you can't always make trades tit for tat. You need to make multiple transactions because if you drop one thing, it's very, very, very unlikely for the same price range that you're going to get the same, you know, amount of value out of that pick. So that being said, some of the Pokemon that we did drop, we did end up dropping Snover. Snover was a very solid pick. I think that if I weren't as limited with Mons, if I might have considered grabbing something like an Alolan Sandshrew, something along those lines, to have a very like valid Slush Rush user. Maybe some weather could have been a good opportunity there, but unfortunately wasn't in the cards for me, so we ended up dropping Snover. Ended up dropping Impidimp as well. I feel like the idea behind screens and things along those lines is fine, but ultimately these games are pretty quick, I've come to find out, so just like trying to stall those out with screens really doesn't do all that much for me. And then we ended up dropping Voltorb as well. Voltorb, very one-dimensional as far as Pokemon goes. I said it during the draft analysis, like it's very fast. It does Voltorb things. But all that together, it just wasn't fitting how I guess I was trying to play Little Cup. And then we also ended up dropping Tentacool as well. Again, Tentacool, you know, I had the poison type with Glimmet, had a rapid spinner and a water type with Squirtle. Like on paper, it patched up defensively some areas that I had. But in order to just kind of make the team a little bit more whole, again, Tentacool ended up going to the side there. So what do we pick up in return? First Pokemon that we picked up in the free agency transaction is Yellow the Mankey. Now, Mankey has a speed tier, very great speed tier for Little Cup, base 70 speed. That's going to put it pretty much in range with like a lot of the faster threats, unless it is like insanely fast. It's pretty much about as fast as a lot of these Little Cup mons get. Very, very good Scarf Pokemon, very, very good physical attacker, base 80 attack. You know, it's got access to close combat. It's got access to, doesn't have access to knockoff, not until Legend ZA, so, but it does have, you know, hard-hitting moves. If we were to take a look at it just by overall base power, things like close combat, things like gunk shot, things like earthquake, you know, it's a good U-turner. It can set up with moves like bulk up. It has access to acrobatics if we want to go that route. So really, really reliable Pokemon. As far as the abilities itself go, Vital Spirit, I can't be slept. So any Spore, any Sleep Powders, any Effect Spores, get them out of here. Defiant, any Intimidate users, anytime my stats are dropped, I gain 2 attack stages. And then Anger Point, if I'm feeling froggy, if I get crit, my attack is raised by 12 stages. So very strong Pokemon, very reliable, very fast, very hard hitting. I felt that that was going to be good for the team. Next Pokemon that I ended up picking up in the free agency transaction is actually Rowlet. Rowlet is a grass flying type. This gives me a ground immunity. I do have Levitate on Bronzor, but things like Mold Breaker, Drillbur, or any other Mold Breaker mons that have ground coverage, unfortunately, gonna see right through that. So ended up going ahead and grabbing Rowlet. Rowlet also does provide me a defogger, provides me a good defensive backbone. Can be either defensive, can either be physically offensive or specially offensive if I choose to run it that way. Does have access to knockoff, does have access to defog, air slash, brave bird, energy ball, giga drain, leaf blade, shadow sneak, swords dance, synthesis. I mean, it's like Decidueye, but smaller and cuter. I love it. I love it a lot. Next Pokemon we ended up picking up in the free agency is a Alolan Meowth. Alolan Meowth is a very fast Pokemon, base 90 speed. As far as the offenses go, nothing too crazy there. It does have the technician ability, so even though I do have lower offenses, base 50 special attack, base 35 physical attack, technician is going to be able to boost my moves of 60 base power low by 1.5 times. So being able to run something like fake outs can always be cool. Fury swipes, because the damage rolls can always be nice. Being able to use moves like chilling water, icy wind to a little bit more of my advantage with this set can be very, very nice as well. Stab knockoffs are always a great thing there too. Wanted a Pokemon that removing the items is just after the Alolan Grimer incident, I wanted an opportunity to have my own stab knockoffs, and while it's not as hard hitting as Alolan Grimer, I'm hopeful that this is going to be the right course of action to take. And then the last Pokemon we grabbed, because of the draft itself, it's very glaring that I have a bit of a fighting weakness, so I wanted a fighting immunity. We went on ahead and grabbed a Greavard. I love Greavard. Greavard's adorable. Greavard is absolutely adorable. Pretty bulky Pokemon. Very good Eviolite abuser as well. Base 55 special defense, base 60 defense. It has the fluffy ability. Contact moves are, I take half damage from contact moves. I do take double damage from fire type moves, so that's something to be aware of there. But just being able to take those contact moves, if it's not a knockoff user, I can pretty comfortably kind of shrug that off with an Eviolite there. As far as the coverage itself goes, you know, it does have access to Yawn for sleep. It does have access to Poltergeist, 110 base power ghost type move, which is great. We can do Nightshade stuff. We can do Destiny Bond stuff. We can do Crunch. We can disable. We can be a little bit supportive. So nothing. It's not the premier sweeper. It does not have like Trailblaze or anything like that. It doesn't have Sand Rush, so I couldn't grab like Hippopotas or anything like that in free agency to really help out with that. I don't even know if Hippopotas is available in free agency, but really felt like it helped to add a little bit more, again, defensive backbone to the team, being able to take some hits, whereas some other mons might not want to take those. So those are going to be the free agency transactions. Now let's go ahead and hop back to the team builder. And now that that's out of the way, you guys are going to start to see some teams appear on screen right about now. My opponent has a team that consists of Stunky, Hisuian Voltorb, Drillbur, Snubbull, Pikapek, Surskit, Hisuian Growlithe, Chespin, and Cosmog. Some things to note about my opponent's team is that why did I have to play Drillbur 2 weeks in a row? My God, that is not how I wanted to go about this. But either way, we're still going to try our best to make it work, which is why we made some free agency transactions at the end of the day. First Pokemon we are bringing this week is going to be Sun the Mudbray. Very, very similar set to what we have brought in the past with the Eviolite and the stamina ability. Rest, Sleep Talk, Earthquake, and Rock Slide. I'm not trying to do any curses. I'm not trying to do anything like that. Earthquake, Rock Slide, I feel like goes really nicely into Jaybear's team. Being able to just have as much defensive backbone as we can in order to take hits from Drillbur, being able to take hits from Stunky, being able to take hits from Hisuian Growlithe, Pikapek if need be, Snubbull if need be. All those Pokemon, I want to make sure that we're in as good of a position as we can in order to take those. Next up, we have one of two Choice Scarfers this week. Violet the Glimmet, she is holding her Choice Scarf, with the Toxic Debris ability. Dazzling Gleam, Sludge Wave, Power Gem, and Explosion. 156 EVs in attack, 236 EVs in special attack, 116 EVs in speed with a rash nature. Dazzling Gleam, Sludge Wave, Power Gem, all of those coverage moves I feel like go very, very nicely in a Jaybear's team. There's not really any one Pokemon that wants to take one move over another. If I do need to pick off a Pokemon at the very end of it, Choice Scarf Explosion is going to put us into a really, really nice position. With the Scarf, we do outspeed Hisuian Voltorb, which is great. If anything becomes really just kind of detrimental to the team, boom. You know, that's really all we're here to do at the end of the day. Any physical moves are going to hit us. We're going to release the Toxic Debris, put the Toxic Spikes on the field. It is also going to force Stunky in a little bit more. That Pokemon hits like a truck in Little Cup, which is something I never thought I'd say. So I want to make sure that if I can bring it in and wear it down as often as I can, that's the way to go about it. Next up, we are bringing one of the newcomers on the team, Scarlet the Greavard. She is holding her Eviolite with the fluffy ability. We have Poltergeist, Yawn, Hex, and Pain Split. 36 EVs in HP, 28 in attack, 196 in defense, 236 in special defense with a relaxed nature. Poltergeist, if it is not, so the only normal type on Jaybear's team is going to be the Pikapek. Pikapek is gone. Poltergeist is going to hit very, very hard. I've got the Yawn in order to put things to sleep. That Yawn paired with the Toxic Spikes, I felt like Hex was an okay bring. You know, I base 30 special attack isn't anything too crazy, but we're talking some really low numbers when it comes to Little Cup, so I don't think it's all that different. So if I can toss off a 130 power base move on the special side with Hex, as well as 110 base power move from Poltergeist on the physical side, I think this thing can be very problematic in order to deal with. Pain Split at the end of the day is just for a good little bit of recovery if we can there. 22, we've got 8 health points, so I don't know how much Pain Split will actually do back to us, but if we can kind of make that work in our favor, I'd like to. Next up, Pearl the Munchlax. She's holding her Assault Vest with the Thick Fat ability, Body Slam, Rock Tomb, Ice Punch, and Gunk Shot. 236 EVs in attack, 36 in defense, 236 in special defense with an Adamant Nature. I really wanted this one because I was afraid of the Hisuian Growlithe, if I had to be honest. Something like a Flare Blitz I don't really want to take. I'm not looking forward to taking the fire move on there, so I didn't want to run with the Assault Vest. It also helps me out against things like Hisuian Voltorb, against things like the Surskit if it does want to set up or anything along those lines. So just helps me take things on a little bit more, especially on that side. Feel like good coverage across the board. Rock Tomb is nice for any sort of speed control. It's super effective damage into both Pick-a-Peck and Surskit as well. Gunk Shot, being able to hit things like the Hisuian Voltorb and the Snubble very hard from that angle. Next up, another newcomer to the team, Ultra Moon the Alolan Meowth. He's holding his Life Orb with the Technician ability. We have Nasty Plant, Chilling Water, Icy Wind, and Thunderbolt. 116 EVs in HP, 196 in special attack, 196 in speed with a modest nature. We are speed tying the Stunky. We can never outspeed the Hisuian Voltorb. So I wanted to just go on ahead and just kind of set that record there. I could run Timid if I wanted to, but the damage rolls from Modest, Alolan Meowth were a little bit better this week. Chilling Water, Icy Wind, and Thunderbolt go very, very nicely into the whole team. Icy Wind on a switch into Hisuian Voltorb could be really, really nice if we can. That's going to be able to drop the speed. Chilling Water is going to be super effective into things like the Hisuian Growlithe. Into the Drillbur. Thunderbolt, very, very good damage into things like Pick-a-Peck and the Surskit. Anything that's not really a resistance, it's going to be hitting just as hard. And then, of course, Chilling Water and Icy Wind are going to get that Technician boost, being boosted 1.5 times into that. Last but certainly not least, you guys were like, wait a minute, he said 2 Choice Scarfs. Hold your horses. Here we go. Blue the Squirtle. Don't hold your horses. Hold your turtle, I guess. He's holding his Choice Scarf with the Torrent ability, Surf, Ice Beam, Flip Turn, and Rapid Spin. 4 EVs in HP, 52 in attack, 196 in special attack, 4 in special defense, 252 in speed with a modest nature. Chase, why are you running EVs in attack when you're running a modest nature? Well, because I didn't want to run a negative defense or negative special defense nature just on the off chance. So I figured with both Flip Turn and Rapid Spin being physical moves, even though I am a negative attack nature, putting anything in there so those do a little bit more damage at the end of the day while still giving me a special attack boosting nature made the most sense. I'm not relying on Flip Turn or Rapid Spin for any KOs, but just being able to get that extra damage point from 9 attack up to 10 attack could do something, maybe. They were EVs in the bucket, figured I'd toss them in there. That is going to be the team. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys at the battle. Ladies and gentlemen, week 3 of the littlest league in all the lands. My name is CBAD, coach of the Detroit Steel Wings. We're going up against Jay Bear in a fantastic showdown. Because he's got a scary team and I got a scary team. So I hope you guys are excited. If you guys missed the team builder, you guys see the 6 that I am bringing on screen. If you missed the team builder, you might have missed the free agency transactions, which is why there's some new Pokemon on the screen. Go back, watch it, leave a like, subscribe for more Draft League content. I'll see you guys at Team Preview. All right, let's see what he is bringing. We got the Stunky. We see the Hisuian Voltorb. We see the Drillbur. We do see the Picky-Peck. We see the Surskit, and we have the Chespin. Okay. I think, truthfully, wholeheartedly, and honestly, Glimmet looks like a great lead. I am not even gonna hold you. It looks like a fantastic lead. Stunky as a lead is a little rough for me. Stunky's the only Pokemon that I feel like I don't match up into, or I don't do too well against, and I need to wear that down. And I would want to lead off with, Mudbray. But if that's the case, so be it. I think Glimmet lines up into 4 out of 6 Mons pretty well. That's how we'll start things off. We'll see how it goes. If he goes out into either the Drillbur or the Stunky. Drillbur, ideally. 5 out of 6 I can switch in. The Stunky, I don't want to take the knockoff from. Leads off with Eddie, the Picky-Peck. Okay. All right, so I am faster than this thing. And Power Gem always knocks you out. So I'm going to go for that. Oh, almost always knocks you out. It's Sash Picky-Peck. Okay. And we see the knockoff. Okay, that is fine. Toxic Debris does go up. Toxic Debris does go up. Okay, so Sash Picky-Peck. I like that lead. Would you just be max speed on this? If you're max speed, you knock me out. If you're not max speed, maybe you keep this around. I'll go for another power gem. There's the bullet seed. Okay. Okay. We see the knockoff and the bullet seed by Picky Peck. Picky Peck KOs Glimet with bullet seed. Okay. So it's going to be the skill link Picky Peck. Squirtle could reveal that I am Scarf. I don't know if I want to do that yet. Meowth, I want to hold that life orb in the back as long as I can. So maybe I do just go out into the Squirtle here. I think that's my best bet because I don't want to take a Nasty Plot or another one. Anything else from that, right? I will just go for the Ice Beam looks okay. Ice Beam looks okay. I think let's just flip turn. I don't know if he wants to keep this thing around. If he does want to keep it, we'll get some momentum. Maybe goes down to the Stunky. Maybe allows us to do some Mudbray things. Does withdraw. Interesting. Okay. Performative comes in. That is going to be the Surskit. Okay. Is going to get badly poisoned. I do have the Alolan Meowth, which is faster than this thing. So I can go into that. I can go into that and drop a big Thunderbolt off at the door. Yeah, I don't think there's a world where... oh, actually, you know what? Thunderbolt does 80 to 105 to Eviolite uninvested. So I guess we just kind of go for it and hope, right? Withdraws. Okay. Withdraws and goes out into Who Stinks? The Stunky. Okay. All right, got that out of the way. That was over half? Wow, that damage roll was not... Are you not Eviolite? I'll go for another one here. Scarf? Very Scarf. Okay. Items. Scarf. Stunky. KOs Meowth with Gunk Shot. Okay. Mudbray seems the finest to me. Truth be told. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Let's go out into Mudbray. Maybe it wasn't Scarf. Maybe it was just a... No. Maybe it wasn't a Scarf. Maybe it was just a Speed Tie. Maybe it was just a Speed Tie. Hold on here. Hold on. You're gonna do something here. If I just rest on the knockoff... Let's just Earthquake. Let's just do that. Alright. Get an Earthquake off here. Nice and strong Earthquake. Into Charlie. Charlie the Chespin. Okay. That did nothing. That did absolutely nothing. Ooh, how do I break this? I think I just go for a Rock Slide here. And miss. That's exactly what I do here. Spikes. Okay. Okay, bet. I can spin those away with Squirtle, thankfully. I'll try to go for another Rock Slide here. I'm going to miss 2 Rock Slides in a row. I love this game. Here's Giga Drain. Okay, that does half. All right. Mudbray, what are we doing here, buddy? What are we doing here, buddy? Let's go out into Pearl. With the AV, we'll take the Giga Drain. We'll take a little bit from the Spike. Yeah, that did 4. Okay, beautiful. I will go for the... Gunk Shot actually looks pretty nice. Gunk Shot hits pretty hard. Let's go for that. We'll do Gunk Shot v Gunk Shot with that Stunky. Goes for the Roar. Ooh, okay. Okay, I see you. GREAVARD. Okay, so GREAVARD against the Chespin. Poltergeist could kill. I'll try that. Withdraws. Okay. Goes back out to the Pick-a-Peck. All right, good play, good play. Good play. I think I need to let Mudbray go down here. I think I need to let Mudbray go down here to the knockoff, the whatever. Piggypeck's a monster. Can I claim one this game? Can I claim one this game? Piggypeck's a god. What are we talking about? Okay. I have GREAVARD. I have... Okay, so Squirtle can rapid spin the spikes away. Ice Beam also doesn't look too bad. Let's do that, actually. Stunky's under half. Voltor's weak to it. Drillbur's weak to it. Chespin's weak to it. Let me Ice Beam. Goes for the Protect. Okay. Goes to the Protect. I don't know what the Surskit wants to do. I'm going to keep it a buck with you. Withdraws, goes out into the Surskit. Surskit's also poison, too. So Surskit's going to take an Ice Beam into Toxic, and it's Toxic Poison, too, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so hold on. What does Surskit do to me? What is, I feel like I'm, what does Surskit do? It does have Giga Drain. So maybe let's go out into GREAVARD here. Let's go out into GREAVARD. Bug Buzz. Okay. All right. That's what I didn't want to have happen, is that. Okay, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. I could just go for the Hex. I could just go for the Hex here. Withdraws, goes out on the Pick-a-Peck. Goes out and Addy. Okay, yep. Okay. That's fine because Squirtle doesn't want more Ice Beams, or Pick-a-Peck does not want more. Pick-a-Peck does not want more of that. So, I think I'll just Yawn here. There's the Bullet Seed. Okay. Okay. Last one was a crit, too. We survive on 5. Shout out GREAVARD. Okay. On the off chance that they don't switch, I'm going to go for another Yawn here. Because, again, Surskit's low. Withdraws. Okay, beautiful. Got the Yawn off. Goes on to Jason. Jason So you've got Volt Switch here, right? That's kind of the play that we've got. That's the play that we've got going on here. I will Poltergeist. Yep, okay, Voltorb's going to knock me out, which is fine. Maybe it's fine. Am I about to get Schmixoed? Am I about to get schmixed? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. Go on to you here. I don't think you're Eviolite, so I think Surf knocks you out. Ice Beam does around that. I'll go for Surf here. Goes to the knockoff. It is Scarf then. It is Scarf then. Okay, well, I claimed one. That's wonderful. Joe Burrow. Are you Scarf Drilber? You are Scarf Drilber. Okay. All right, Munchlax, all down to you, buddy. All down to you, bud. Wow, I got Nate on this game. GG's to J-Bear. I got nothing. I got nothing. Huge damage. My God. Freeze? No, no freeze. Just enough to be out of range. Okay. Yeah, GG's to J-Bear, man. That was crazy. That was crazy. That bird is a monster. Wow. That bird is an absolute demon. GG's. I thought I made some free agency transitions that were going to put me up into a spot. Whoo! Put me into a spot in the cemetery. Let me tell you. J-Bear, congratulations. GG's, man. That was a fun game. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Definitely, if you guys have, show some love on that like button. Go check out J-Bear's channel. Link will be in the description down below as well. Hope all that being said, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Be great, do great, and I'll see you guys next week for game day. Later.